Welcome to episode 2 of Not Exactly Breaking News with myself, AJ Rose. Big up everyone that listened to episode 1. I appreciate it. And thank you for sending me in your audience dilemmas. We are going to discuss the very best ones in the second half of the podcast. As ever, we're going to kick things off with the best light-hearted news stories you might have missed that still feel relevant. So let's get into it. The first story that caught my eye was this one. Someone on social media posted a picture of the Nandos menu from 2014 and people were talking about how much the prices have increased. Nandos is no longer a cheeky Nandos. It's just Nandos. It's no longer a cheeky bit of munch. It's just munch. The prices have increased too much for Nandos to still have the cheeky label attached to it. I'm looking at the menu, yeah? I'm looking at the menu and I'm looking at these prices and I'm seeing raw. £12.50 for a whole chicken, £9.95 for a half chicken and 2 sides, like £3 or £4 for a dessert. That is cheekiness. That is peak levels of cheekiness. Back in the day, you go in there, oh, can I have a tap water, please? They give you the proper glass and you fill that up. For some reason, you always fill it up with Coca-Cola, Fanta and Sprite, all mixed in one glass. Just a little cup of sugar for no good reason. Back in the day, Nando's used to be compared to other chicken shops because it was in that price range. You would look at other chicken shops and think, oh, I could pay like £5 for like 400 dodgy wings and chips and a Miranda, or I could pay like £10 and get the higher quality Nando's chicken. So instead of going to these random shops like KFC, PFC, FFC, MFC, AFC, DFC, PFC, Sam's, Pepe's, Morley's, Sid's, whatever your chicken shop of choice was, Nando's was almost like the slightly more expensive but better chicken shop. Now, in 2026, it's like 15, 16, 17 pound, maybe 14 pound for a half chicken and 2 sides. The prices have increased to a point where Nando's ain't cheeky no more. It's just a restaurant. It's not a cheeky restaurant. It's not a, oh, we're getting great value here. It's just, we're getting some value. So it's not exactly mad expensive now. It's not like they drastically had a rebrand and charged like 4 times the price. But what I will say is, all the things that made Nando's great back in the day, most of all the price, seems to have been lost today in 2026. So Nando's, regretfully, I'm sorry to say, but you are no longer cheeky. You're just Nando's. The second story that caught my eye this week was this one. Council wants pubs in Soho and West End to limit standing. Apparently, Westminster Council want to discourage vertical drinking. What the hell is vertical drinking? I mean, obviously it refers to people standing up and drinking, but no one in the history of consuming liquids has ever stood up with a drink and said, oh, I'm vertically drinking right now. What in the name of LinkedIn BS is that? No one calls it vertical drinking first and foremost. We didn't need a corporate term for standing up at the pub. Furthermore, no one chooses really to stand up at the pub. No one looks at a nice little corner seat with the sofa chairs and thinks, oh, yeah, that is available and it is free. But you know what? Let's just stand in this really tight space for absolutely no good reason. Vertical drinking. Apparently, Sadiq Khan saw this and said, nah, you lot got to scrap that plan. I don't know why he said that, but my guess is if people can't stand at pubs, fewer people will go to the pub. Pubs will make less money, more pubs will close, and that ain't good for anyone. So vertical drinking seems like, well, unless you're going to randomly increase the size of the venue and get way more tables and chairs, what are people meant to do? In the article, I think one of the reasons they want to discourage vertical drinking is to encourage people sitting down and eating a meal. I can't lie, some of these pubs and bars, they charge way too much for food. £22 for fish and chips. I'll eat it and be like, yeah, this was maybe £12 to £14 worth of fish and chips. Was it £22 worth? I don't think so. A lot of the food in pubs and bars is quite expensive. So my take is, if pubs and bars want more people to buy food, either they make the food more cheaper and accessible, or if you are going to charge these high prices, you make the food better. You can't be giving me mediocre food at non-mediocre prices. If you're charging me the top tier price, I need top tier food. A lot of establishments charge top tier prices, but deliver mediocre service. It's not terrible. I'm not going to say, oh, all the food's bad. It's just not worth the money I personally pay when I'm at a lot of these places. Vertical drinking, I can't lie. It's a silly term. What next? Horizontal eating, vertical walking. Like, forget the key words and jargon. Vertical drinking, whatever you want to call it, I see it as if people can't stand up in pubs, less people are going to go to the pubs. So how this one will play out, TBC. But that term, vertical drinking, that is some nonsense. Now it's time for quick takes, the section where I give you a few one-liners about the best stories this week. You used to be able to get a meal for under a tenner at Nandos. Now, the only thing cheeky about it is asking if someone wants to split the halloumi. Vertical drinking is being discouraged at pubs and bars in central London. I would be worried, but not one person has any idea what vertical drinking even is. Big up everyone who sent me in dilemmas. I can't go through them all, so I've just picked the very best ones this week. Keep sending me them in. I put a thing on my Instagram. You can reply there. Reach out on social media. Carrier pigeon, written letter, email, whatever's best for you. Keep sending me in your dilemmas. I appreciate it. The first dilemma this week is this. My friend keeps sending me voice notes instead of texting. It's annoying. Do you know what? I hear it. I hear it. You got to tell your friend, chill out with them seminars, chill out with the podcast, chill out with the lecture, chill out with the essays. We don't need a PhD in response to me asking you, what time do you want to meet up? There's something about voice notes where when people click that record button, they just feel compelled to waffle. And the waffle that they give you, most of the time I'm listening to it and I'm like, yo, like, we're cool, innit? Like, we are friends, we're cool, but respectfully, I don't care about all these little random little updates you're giving me. You're walking around your house. I say, oh, what time do you want to meet? 5 or 6? And you load up a voice note and you're like, yeah, so later, I think, oh, sorry, one sec. Yeah, I didn't realize I've still got some rice in the fridge. Oh, should I cook rice later? And you're sitting there like, no one cares. Like, respectfully, we're friends, we're cool, but that is information I didn't need to know. You could have kept that to yourself or put it in a text. Put it in a text. It's easier to reply. Don't make me sit through half an episode just to get to the good details. So yeah, your friend who keeps sending you voice notes, I hear it. I don't mind voice notes, just there's a time and a place and there should be a limit. There should be a limit on how long a voice note can be. If a voice note goes beyond 30 seconds, it should have another title. It should say, time wasting incoming. Stop what you're doing because you're going to need 4 minutes and 37 seconds to process this. We need more warning when those long podcasts come through on WhatsApp and iMessage. So yeah, I hear it. Voice notes, they have a time and a place, but also when used in the wrong way, very annoying. The second dilemma this week is random. It is a random one. This is what someone sent me, and these are the only words they sent. I blocked my colleague on Instagram and then they found out. I don't know any other context or information to this story. That is all I know. First thing I thought was, how did they find out? Did another colleague tell them? Did they have another IG profile where they typed your name in and they were like, oh, raw. Steve said he's off the grid because like he doesn't trust all the companies trying to, you know, get in our brains. So he's just like off social media. But says here, he posts a picture every 2 days. What's going on, Steve? How did they find out? That is a techie one. Furthermore, did they confront you about it? That is another question that we kind of need an answer to. If they did confront you, you've got to come up with some random excuse. You know them random excuses like, oh yeah, I was chilling with my little cousin. I gave him my phone so he can play Candy Crush. And the next thing you know, he unfollowed and blocked a bunch of random people. Oh, who did he block and unfollow? Only really like my enemies and people I don't like. How weird is that? How coincidental? You got to come out with some randomness to try and smooth this over. Oh yeah, I was using my phone in the bathroom and I dropped a little bit of water on the screen. Next thing you know, phone's doing a madness. I don't know how you ended up in that situation where you blocked a colleague and they found out, but I would love to know what happened next. I don't know how you're going to navigate that one, but I'm wishing you the best of luck. All right, that is it. The end of episode 2. Thank you for listening. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. If you're on any of the podcast platforms, please give the podcast a 5-star review. If you want to come to a live show, I got a show coming up in October at Top Secret Comedy Club, my longest show yet. Pull up. Follow the podcast page on social media. Not Exactly Breaking News. And as ever, send me the audience dilemmas. I love reading through them. I love trying to make sense of all of the randomness I got sent last week. And hopefully I get sent a fresh batch of randomness ahead of episode 3, which will drop next week. So yeah, big up everyone for listening. I appreciate it. And I will see you very soon. In a bit.